Zohran Mamdani becoming the first Muslim mayor of New York City. What's happening to America? Is this part of the quiet Islamic takeover of America in the last days? And what can we understand from a biblical perspective? That's coming up. Hello and welcome to our channel Pointed to Eternity, and welcome back to another Strategic Trends update. And by the way, if you have not been following our Telegram channel, do follow our Telegram channel. I'll give the link in the description below. It's in the Telegram channel where I share videos, images, clips of all developments happening around the world which are connected with end times and Bible. So when we study Bible prophecy in the last days, among the countries that we see playing power politics, we don't see America as the influential and powerful nation it used to be. We may see Europe, Russia, China, Arab Alliance, and of course Israel. The Bible assures that Israel will be there as long as there is the sun, moon, and the stars. Though America can be seen as the greatest superpower the world has ever seen as a nation, it won't be there in the last days as that superpower. In Ezekiel chapter 38, in that Gog-Magog invasion of Israel, we see that America is not able to restrict the armies of Gog which come against Israel. By the way, I've explained that in another video, that this event, that is the Ezekiel 38 Gog-Magog invasion of Israel, will likely happen during the end of the first 3.5 years of the 7-year tribulation. I'll leave that video link in the description below. So there could be many reasons behind America not being a player in the last days. For example, a social collapse, moral degradation, or the rapture of the church, etc. But when we see such things happening in the US, the path to that decline of the US is made clearer. Zohran Mamdani has won the post for mayor of New York City, the first Muslim to hold that post. He is only 34 years old. He is a Muslim, an anti-Semite, having connections to radical Islamists, and he has a communist socialist ideology. He was born and raised in Uganda and became a US citizen in 2018. He was basically a rapper. He has no leadership experience till now, and yet now he is the mayor of America's biggest city and financial capital. You can pause this video and take a look at who he is. So he realized that there are a lot of youngsters doing nothing, and they want to get everything and still do nothing. And he is one of them. And what did he promise?
Here is what we stand for, my friends. We are going to freeze the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants and use every resource at our disposal to build housing for everyone who needs it. We are going to eliminate the fare on every single bus line.
So rent freezing, no bus fares, housing for everyone. And how is he going to do it? Raising property taxes on predominantly white neighborhoods. So he's not only a communist, Islamist sympathizer, anti-Israel, but also a racist. You see, he has some serious red flags. Reckless socialist freebies, defund the police backing. He has ties to CARE, which is related to terrorist organizations, strong anti-Israel views, and regarding Hamas, he says it is a justified battle and he doesn't call for Hamas's disarmament. You can pause this and read for yourselves. You see, he is everything what America is not. Just look at his father's anti-American view, how he falsifies American history and constitution.
For the Nazis, this was the inspiration. Hitler realized two things. One, that genocide was doable. It is possible to do genocide. That's what Hitler realized. Second thing Hitler realized is that you don't have to have a common citizenship. You can differentiate between people. The Nuremberg laws were patterned after American laws. Anyway, the US put Indians in reservations. The US invented the model.
Just 24 years after September 11, 2001, when Islamic terrorists attacked America and killed thousands, this is happening in the same New York City. This was unthinkable a few years ago. And how did this happen? 62% of his supporters are foreign born. American born voters supported the other candidates. So, anyway, things are changing in America. Even Iran supports the win of Zohran Mamdani. And if you want to know where this is heading, look at London, another great city, but now almost half of the residents are foreign born. And the most popular name for baby boys is Muhammad. In 2016, Sadiq Khan, a Muslim socialist, became mayor of London. And after that, scenes like this became common.
We're on the same side, bro.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are, bro.
Did you notice the leftist with the speaker pleading with the masked Islamist chanting Allah Akbar that they were all on the same side? And the Islamist immediately says, "No, we are not." Let that be a cautionary note for the leftist in America. That's why it can be seen as the quiet Islamic takeover of America. It is seen everywhere in the world. Muslims entering especially Western countries through immigration. See, Europe has already fallen. And now in America, Muslims being elected to office. Youngsters now in America think that socialism and communism are good things. America's founding fathers had always stood for equal opportunity and freedom for all. And that freedom is being misused by many who have come to that country. Let me ask you, will Islamic countries allow citizenship to people from other countries? And will they allow such people in government offices? They won't, right? Look, a strong delusion is seen in America right now. And along with that, a quiet Islamic takeover is happening in America. Take a look at one of Mamdani's interns, what she said publicly.
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that this is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the conversation of doxing, the conversation of getting arrested and suspended, I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because it's about time to do that. And I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. It's just a question. We don't want to get doxxed, and we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested. How gangsta are you? That's just my question. How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels, but at the end of the day, that's a question to ask ourselves. How committed am I to this? To what extent of my personal material gains am I willing to sacrifice for this bigger noble cause? And subhanAllah, I truly believe that when your heart is in the right place, if you get suspended, if you get doxxed, because it's bound to happen when you're doing a righteous cause and when you're doing something for the sake of Allah here in the West, it will never ever be in vain. And the true believer does not fear that, because the true believer knows that the akhirah is a promise.
You see, that's the aim, destruction of infidels. Some time back, they did not say that in public, but now they are. They want to implement Sharia law. In this case, in New York, the first thing a mayor does is appointing a police chief who is having his own views. It already happened in Dearborn, Michigan. And now take a look at this. They say the police department will change, the military will change. I mean, things are moving in that direction of Sharia. You see, the Muslim Brotherhood is banned in countries like Dubai, but in New York, they are not banned. They are ruling New York City now. And they will be all the more when they win offices in other places. You see, they have patience. And once progressive liberalism spreads and the judicial system gets corrupt, these people will find a way to do what they want. And in the next year American midterm elections, if the conservatives don't rise up strongly, then America is going down. One main question: why are such immigrants not going to other Arab countries? They share the same language, customs, religion, everything. And moreover, those countries have lots of land also. Still, they choose to go to Western countries. You see, what's their strategy?
3 steps was immigrate, increase, eliminate. Immigrate as a religious refugee, increase the number of your followers and demand political accommodation, and then eliminate the previous culture. So I was speaking in Detroit area, and afterwards had people come up and visit around the book table, and they were telling me about a lady who had a ministry to pregnant mothers. So she shows up at a Muslim house, has a little present. Well, out of a bedroom comes another pregnant Muslim mom. Out of a bedroom comes another pregnant Muslim mom. Out of a bedroom comes another pregnant Muslim mom, all pregnant by the same man. He's practicing Sharia law in his house. And then someone else says, oh yeah, Fazil bought a bunch of houses on the street, has a wife in each one.
Where was this?
In Detroit area. The wives go down to the welfare office and say their husband's not around. He goes and visits them, and the more kids they have, the larger the checks get. And he's living like a king at state expense, and all the kids playing in the middle of the street are his children. He's practicing Sharia law on his block. They take over several more blocks, and they vote in the school board. And now they have their Sharia in the schools. And then they take over more blocks. They vote in the police department, fire department. And in Hamtramck, Detroit, they vote in the majority of the city council. They have their minarets, their calls to prayer 5 times a day, no different than Pakistan. So we see the first ones come in as immigrants, and they're nice, and they're so nice. Everybody says they're nice, nothing to fear, let more in, more come in. They gravitate together, form a community. Imam shows up and says, okay, you need to start getting a little more serious about this, more fundamental. Then the burqas start appearing. People say the neighborhood's changing. They move out. More Muslims move in. And then there's always that stickler that says, I refuse to move out. And that's when there's random violence from Muslim youth. And there's no witnesses, because no Muslim family dare testify against another Muslim family on behalf of some kafir infidel that's hanging in the neighborhood. And so eventually they take over the entire neighborhood. And they do this neighborhood by neighborhood, city by city, block by block, until they take over countries. And there's 1,400 years of track record to observe this pattern. So they took over Egypt, which used to be Coptic Christian. They took over Syria, which used to be Christian. They took over all of Turkey, which used to be Christian. Took over all of North Africa, which used to be Christian. They took Spain, held it for 700 years until the Spaniards drove them out.
Did you hear how they implement the strategy to take over wherever they go? That's immigrate, increase, and eliminate. First, come as a refugee, then increase your number biologically, and then eliminate the culture of that land. Look how they took over Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Turkey, North Africa, Europe, etc., which were all Christian nations at one time. Even recently, the Vatican allowing a room for Muslims to pray in the Vatican Apostolic Library. You see, when I saw it, I was reminded of Galatians chapter 5 verse 9. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. You see, we are living in the times about which Isaiah said in Isaiah 5 verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. You see, it's not a surprise that such godless ideologies and moral degradation are happening in the last days. But Jesus said it clearly that He came to give us eternal life and that we should have it fully. John 10 verse 10 says, The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So dear friends, follow the Lord. Shine like light in the darkness and be the salt in the society. I've done a video on that. I'll leave that video in the description below. And especially to those in America, pray for your nation as well and work in a way to bring your nation back to God. And looking at how things are going, it's clear that Jesus' coming is so near. Amen. Take care. God bless.
Join Georgy Mathew Alexios and Pointer to Eternity channel on Telegram, where you will receive daily updates on major developments across the world relevant to the Bible. You will also receive updates on posts from our website. Getting started is easy. Simply download Telegram from the App Store or Play Store. Then, click on the Telegram link given in this video's description to visit the Pointer to Eternity Telegram channel. Then click join. That's it. See you on Telegram.
And by the way, if you are blessed by this message, be sure to hit that like button. And also, if you are not yet subscribed, kindly subscribe by pressing that subscribe button and also pressing that bell notification so that you would continue to receive blessed messages and updates like this on this same channel.